Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Kevin Vidini here for Superpower Review, and welcome to Superpower Review's Saturday live stream. What's that comic book? We are live every Saturday, babies. We're here. We're going to be talking about some comic books. If you guys are new here to the channel, and if you don't know what's that comic book, pretty much I hang out with people from the comic book community. We spend 1 hour randomly picking comic books out of our collection. Sometimes the panelists do pre-pull them, and we just take turns showing off comic books. We try to give as much information about that comic book as possible. Who wrote the comic book, who did the artwork of the comic book, what year it came out, or maybe even a special story to why this person collects this comic book or has this comic book in their collection. It could be something personal. Maybe it's their first comic book that their dad bought them or their brother bought them. So anything like that, again, any piece of information possible. So guys, if you are watching right now, thank you so much for nerding out with us tonight. I really appreciate you. If you're watching this on the rewind, yet again, thank you so much for nerding out with us for today. Guys, I'm super excited for today's show. We have yet again a packed panel. We have a couple of first appearances on the channel today as well. Let's not waste any more time. Let's meet the panel, all right? So, starting with Dr. T, why don't you guys take a quick minute, talk about yourselves, talk about your channels if you have one, or stuff that you just do on Instagram. Go ahead.
Hey everybody, I'm Dr. T, Austin Thorpe. I have an Instagram page, Dr. T Comics, and I'm also a very small-time YouTuber at Dr. T Comics, so it's great to be here. I've been reading comics since I was, 8 years old, like many of you out there, introduced by my dad. Him collecting comics in the late 70s, mid to early 80s. And then since 2010, have been doing it more aggressively with slabs and bigger time books, but it's just really great to be here. Thanks.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us. Can't wait to see what you're going to be showing us tonight. Matt, what do you got, buddy?
Hi, I'm Mr. Comics 89, just under 4 years in the hobby, and I have a complete run of Amazing Spider-Man from 1 to current coming out. It was quite a journey, so very much fun. But I have a Instagram, Facebook, and just started a Twitter thing, just trying to grow my channel and do more stuff out there. But otherwise, I'm just a average guy. It just seems like, everyone seems to have something better niche than me, but I'm just having fun. What can I say?
Cool, man. Congratulations on that full run of Amazing Spider-Man. That's
Thank you.
Super, super impressive.
Yeah.
All right, Will, what do you got, man?
Hey, what's up, everybody? A couple comics here. Just a little history of myself. I probably started collecting late 80s and early 90 books, jumped off in the mid 90s off of comics. Fast forward to 2011, Batman, Scott Snyder comes out, Scott Snyder's run on Batman on New 52 and all that other stuff. And I start picking up the hobby again. Lo and behold, pandemic hits, I'm bored. And I can't go to the comic shop to talk comics, start a comic YouTube channel. And here we are. The rest is all history. I'm hanging out with Kevin over here and the rest of these great guys. So this week, tomorrow, I'll drop like a little short for FOC. You can find me on Instagram at Cup of Comics. And then, during the week, I'll drop some kind of opening and we'll review the comics coming out this week. But little reviews that get you like the shell of the story, but I try not to spoil it for you. I still want you to go out there and get the books.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us. Captain Kirk, what do you got?
Hey, guys. I started collecting probably about 4 years ago. I got into it because my dad was an avid collector for most of his life, and he suddenly passed away, and I kind of used it as a way to stay connected with him and kind of learn about, all the different characters I grew up watching on TV. I have a YouTube channel, Captain Kirk Productions, as well as Instagram by the same name, where my friends and we just kind of goof around, do a lot of unboxing videos of comics I send off to get graded, and just ones that I kind of pick up here and there just when I find good deals. So happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And lastly, we have Joe. What's up, Joe?
What's up, baby? Oh, Kevin, you know exactly who I am. But for the rest of you guys, it's all nice to meet you, as I said, especially you, Kirk. I didn't see you earlier. I've been collecting pretty much Venom my whole life, man. I don't know, Venom and comics, and I just started Instagram one day and met you, and I slowly meet more and more people every day, and it's freaking cool. I just came across the Instagram comic community and realized there was this like huge thing where everybody's into it, and just like Mr. Comic said, I'm just having fun, man. And that, dude, that is impressive. Amazing Spider-Man won the current. Wow, that is impressive.
It is very impressive, and Matt, you haven't been working on that like too long, really, right? Like maybe.
I started. I think I officially announced it. I think I had a note around here somewhere. I announced on my officially announced that I was going to collect the entire run February 27th, 2019.
Yeah.
When I finally said, okay,
Wow.
you know what? I'm going to go whole hard into it, and 150% later, February 8th, 2022, I unboxed the last book.
Madman. He's a madman, ladies and gentlemen. Holy cow, that's crazy.
I whenever I have something in I'm like a dog with a bone. You can, I go 120%, and I don't know how I did it.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to get started here yet again. I want to thank my panel for coming and hanging out with us. I want to thank the viewers for hanging out with us today. So, as you heard during the intros, these guys have Instagram pages, they have YouTube channels. All of those links that you need to subscribe to and follow to are in this video's description down below. So make sure you guys spend some time clicking on those links and showing these guys some love and support. That would be greatly appreciated. So let's get started with today's show, and we're going to start with Dr. T.
Awesome. So I have a slab to show everybody first. This is Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 7 from 1982. This is the last issue in this run of books featuring the Thing on all of these books. He's always teaming up with somebody. And in this book, it's also the first appearance of Trico. I always get that wrong. Trico Slaterus, who is the champion, so a cosmic character. And the champion, so Slaterus, he goes through every single one of these characters, fights all of them, beats the crap out of Colossus, Sasquatch, Thor, Wonder Man, Namor, and then the Hulk gets disqualified because he tears his gloves off, and the champion wants a fair fight. So Hulk gets banished back to Earth, and then what's left at the very end is the Thing, who goes multiple rounds with the champion, gets beat to a pulp, but the champion ends up having enormous amounts of respect for the Thing. And the personal significance to this of this book for myself is that my dad had a copy of this that he bought off the rack in 1982. I assume at a 7-Eleven or something like that. And my dad did not buy comics to collect them, to keep them in minty condition. No, he bought them to read them. I read it a whole bunch when I was a kid. And this is actually my dad's favorite comic ever, this particular story, this cover. So I had to make sure that I had a 9.8 copy of this thing. And I mean, these colors are really vibrant, really nice. And the story is just a lot of fun. And I'm a big Thing fan. So as a Thing fan, this is one of those books I had to have in the collection in this grade.
Amazing. Love the energy so far, man. That was a fantastic story. What a great way to start off the show. I really love the Thing's boxing stance. Like, he looks legit.
Awesome. By the end of the fight, I mean, he's just I don't know how rocks become black and blue, but he was black and blue all over. And you have this cosmic character just towering over him, the champion, who just thinks, wow, you're pretty incredible. You're one of those special people, one of those special peons from Earth. And anyway, great book.
I mean, I think it's just very much classic Hulk to get too mad and just want to destroy something, and then ends up just getting disqualified.
And you gotta love like the Empire Strikes Back sort of artwork on the back of the book. I mean, this is 82, so Return of the Jedi came out the following year, so it's just fun to see stuff like this from this time period.
Yeah, I mean, a book from 1982 getting a 9.8, now I think is still very impressive. I mean, that's a pretty old book. That is considered a pretty old book by now. So
40 years, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to anybody who was born in the 80s, you're not considered old yet.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. Thank you for showing that.
You're welcome.
Matt, what do you got, buddy?
Well, instead of going through my entire collection, I decided to go through a small sliver that I have designated to be graded. That way it's my best books. It's a little sliver here. So I'm going to pick at random. Okay. It is Static Season 1, Number 1. Just fairly new here. I love Static Shock, the TV show. And I don't know, it was just as a kid, just something about his attitude. I really liked Static, and just he was just so cool, just the way he was, his costume and all that, especially when it went from the white shirt to the black shirt. And I like the incorporation, I guess, of the masks and all that down there. Like you really feel like it was a book from today. Like this kid got powers today. So I don't know too much more about it other than, basically just a story like it's like kind of a Black Lives Matter kind of a thing. It seemed like, I'm not a very good this person wrote it, this person drew it kind of a thing. So, but I love the cover, so I want to get this book graded eventually because I love Static.
And that's a newer book, Matt?
Yeah, modern. Came out last year, I think, or in 2020.
So would you know what's the difference between this Static and the original Static?
Not 100%. I mean,
I've been seeing a whole lot of this is probably maybe the third Static book to appear on What's That Comic Book in the last couple of weeks. So this character is gaining traction.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like it's a little bit more. I don't know. I can't quite place the word. It's slightly different. His home life does seem a little differently. I think his sister also is sister is also bang. You know the word I'm looking for. Has powers too. I think. I don't remember 100%. I haven't read the beginning since then, but it's definitely a little bit more of a realistic feel, with him and Hot Streak and all that. I had a little bit of taste of being bullied as a kid, and so I was like, yeah, that's a lot more realistic than the cartoon. It just felt a lot more realistic. So
cool. I like it.
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Let's see. Who do we got next? We got Joe. Joe, what do you got?
Oh, I thought you were going the other way. All right, well, I'm doing this one time tonight, gentlemen. This is the only symbiote book I'm going to show.
Sure.
The Dark Book. So this is Wizard Press Collector's Library Series Volume 1. It's a comprehensive look at comic book villains. So there's really not much to it. Every page is like a different villain from whatever it means. Even got a little thing about the Joker and whatnot. It's like all comic book characters, just a little rundown of them all. I do like this little hologram on the cover. But what I do want to point out, if I can get rid of this glare, is the artwork by Nelson. Nelson was the Clayton Crane and Del Otto before, and I cannot believe that this guy he hasn't done anything modern, like cover-wise,
Is he supposed to be Venom or Carnage?
It's Carnage.
Okay.
But this has always stood out to me, man. Like, just beautiful, beautiful cover.
Is that
not
like
really
90s?
A big book? About, yeah. It's definitely I think it is not. I mean, it's got that 90s look to it. You can't really see all the details, but man,
I mean, it looks good.
Just
here.
such an awesome cover. It's like a trade paperback type deal. It's not like an actual comic.
Yeah.
But yeah, just something I wanted to show. I've always loved the artwork for this cover. Like I said, it's really not anything important, but as a symbiote collector, I had to have this.
I was wondering if you're going to show anything symbiote related, because last time you were like, I'm not showing anything symbiote related.
That's it for tonight. We're done with symbiotes. Everything else is non-symbiotes.
I don't believe you. You're a liar.
The next one I'm excited about, man. It's one of the ones that brought me back like fully into everything.
Just real quick, we have Legion of Comics in the house. We got my buddy Mark. Appreciate you coming in, man. So we have a comment from Brother John Comics commenting in regards of Austin's book. That book is amazing and defines exactly why Grimm is the heart of Marvel.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let's see. We got Unruly Simeon in the house. I'm not getting there, man. Don't talk anything about me getting old. I don't want to hear it. We got the Art Chemist in the house. Superpower View. What's good? That's a dope Carnage cover. Oh yeah. And then this person who's in the chat, who was a bot, we can just get rid of them. All right, Captain Kirk, what do you got, man?
Well, I decided to pull out Batman 237. This
Nice.
is a Denny O'Neil story, Neil Adams cover, who I love Neil Adams artwork. And this is one of the first books I ever had signed. This book came out in December of 71, December being my birth month. I was not born in 71, in case anyone was wondering. But I had this book. I live in Ohio, and I went to C2E2 in Chicago with my friend Dr. Chef, and I had this and some other raw books like in a cinch bag, and I brought it in. I was like kind of nervous because I knew this book was in good condition, and I didn't want to do anything to mess it or the other books I had up. So I was like really careful. I had Neil sign it. I sent it off, came back a 9.8, which is glorious. And this, fun fact, is the only signed 9.8 on the census. So it's pretty sweet. There's, I believe, 2 or 3 other 9.8s, but this is the only signed 9.8. So pretty sick.
Well, hot damn. That.
And it had Neil, I don't know if, there you go. You can see it right there. He signed it right here at the, on death right there. So pretty sick.
The only 9.8. That's definitely a piece of information right there. Holy cow. So I have that book graded and signed as well.
Very cool.
I was one time on Instagram. I do call it still one of my most unique comic books I have in the collection, honestly. So I was on Instagram one time. Somebody was selling a signed copy, and mine is signed by Neil Adams and Bernie Wrightson. And I just thought it was so like unique to have both of these guys sign that book. It actually says on the label what influence Bernie Wrightson had to that story. I guess he wrote like the script for the story, and Danny O'Neil and Neil Adams kind of took it over. But I just thought it was so cool to have that book. I mean, it's a 6.0. It's like a little bit higher than mid grade, but again, like it's one of those books that I really don't care about the grade. It's just so unique, and I had to have it.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool cover. I always liked it. So
Yeah, I love the twisting motion of the Reaper, like how contorted he is to throw that scythe. I think it's really cool, and you can't go wrong with red covers either. So
right, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, Will, what do you got?
All right. So, world's a dangerous place these days. We've had some stuff going on in the world. So I just wanted to break out my Invaders from 1975. We got Hitler over here. We got Thor. We got the Invaders going on. Captain America, Torch, Namor. So in this issue, backstory. I went to this comic warehouse, whatever, and I found this issue for like 50 cents, whatever. Pulled it out.
Wow.
Pulled out a bunch of Invaders, actually, and started reading these. And it's a little different when you try to read some of the older stuff. You know, it's a little wordier, a lot more panels. But I just thought these were so cool, just because they include like history, right? These are from World War. These aren't from World War II, but they go back to the time of World War II. So you have like Hitler in these. You got Stalin in these. You have Russia working with America in these. They're part of the Allies at this point. But you just have these classic characters put into kind of these semi-realistic settings, if you will. So in this one, the Invaders are trying to protect these 3 like super tanks that were, created for the U.S. They're trying to get them to the Allies out there. These German spies bust in and, start making trouble. And they destroy one of the tanks. And then Namor, like he does, he messes up. He destroys the other tank while beating up the Nazis. So there's like one tank left at the end of the whole thing. So they get that tank overseas. They get it to Germany. At the same time, now Hitler's developing technology that lets him see into other places. So he goes and he's looking at another dimension. He sees Thor there fighting. He's like, man, if I had Thor on my side, it'd be great. He brings Thor back to Germany, talks to him, propaganda, gives him the spiel, and actually gets Thor on his side. So at the end, you've got the Invaders dropping off this super tank to the Allies in Europe, and then you have Thor just pop up at the end. And it's basically the Invaders facing off against Thor at the end of this book. And then there's like a little side bubble with Joseph Stalin somewhere. And it's like, next issue, what did Stalin do? Or something like that. But I just thought this was a really cool book to bring up. If you guys are into kind of semi-World War II history mixed with comics, the Invaders series is a pretty good, comic series to read, and it's from '75. This is actually, I think this is Roy Thomas did the writing on this one. And he was the editor right before this issue. So this was the first issue that he takes over as writer of the Invaders, issue 32.
Awesome. That book looks pretty clean for 50 cents, right? Is that what you said? You bought that for 50 cents?
Yeah, found it in a bin for 50 cents.
Damn. My goodness. Squeaky clean.
All
right.
Nice little find.
So it's my turn. I normally don't do this, guys. But it worked last time so well that I have yet another book that I'm trying to sell. So for my entry here, okay, I have probably one of the best Mike Zeck covers, in my personal opinion. We have a Web of Spider-Man number 32. This is graded in a 9.6. I absolutely love this cover. And you know what? This guy right here, I think he can attest to that. I got you slipping.
Yes, he does love that cover.
This is a fantastic book. This is my favorite Spider-Man stories of all time. This is Craven's Last Hunt. So in the previous issue, in part 3, Spider-Man gets shot. We all think he's dead. Well, you don't really think he's dead because it's Spider-Man. Who's going to kill Spider-Man? But we find out that he's tranquilized, and I've never seen Spider-Man there's sometimes where you see Spider-Man pissed, right? And he kind of lets loose, but dude, he gets out of this coffin. He's super, super pissed. He wants revenge. He wants to go get Craven. Again, one of my favorite stories of all time. It's just so dark for Marvel, and I really love it that at toward the end where Craven commits suicide. I think it's super dark. I love it. We got a fantastic team on this book. You got Mike Zeck on here. We got Bob McLeod and Dia Mateus on story. So fantastic book. So I am going to be selling this one. I do have it up on Instagram right now. I'm trying to upgrade to a 9.8. So if you want this comic book in your collection, I'm asking $250 shipped, and that is priority shipping and fully insured. Bam!
All the covers from that whole storyline are straight up iconic Spider-Man covers.
Yeah, totally.
I got a signed print. I got a signed print of that cover by Mike Zeck, so I know what you mean. It's a great book.
Yeah, I have a raw copy that's signed by Zeck. I'm not sure. I know I have a Mark Jewelers one. I'm not sure if that's the Mark Jewelers one. I don't really normally care about Mark Jewelers. Yeah. Shh. It's not that bad. I swear. Hey, we got MJ Comics in the house. What is going on, brother? How you doing? Appreciate you stopping by. We also have my dude, War Machine Punisher Comics and Collectibles in the house. What is up? And Unruly Simeon. All 6 issues were great.
Yes,
Touche.
sir.
I think it's definitely time to maybe crack those open and read that again, because I haven't read them since the first time I've read it, which was when I got back into collecting again. So it's got to be at least 6 years ago since I've read that. So, and we also got Warlord in the house. What's up, man? All right, guys. So we are going to go into round 2 here. Again, if you are joining us, don't forget to smash that like button. That is super important. And again, you can find all these dudes on the panel today by going in this video's description, clicking on those links, and showing them some love and support. I'm sure they would greatly appreciate it. So we got round 2, and we're going with Dr. T. What do you got, buddy?
All right. I have this.
Oh,
Wolverine,
nice.
Wolverine Origins. There's no third claw though. Don't get too excited.
It don't matter.
Third claw, but this is Wolverine Origins number 10. This is a nice reader's copy, a subscription copy that came in the mail beat up. It's probably a fine plus copy. But here we have the first appearance of Daken. I've heard it pronounced before. The first appearance of Daken, Wolverine's long lost son. And should I say what happens to Wolverine in this issue with his son? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
fine.
all right.
So Wolverine's like tied up, and his son appears. And make a long story short, he just basically slices him in the neck, and the blood comes spilling out. His son is absolutely ruthless. And I actually have a full run of issue 1 through issue 50 of Wolverine Origins, because a huge Wolverine fan. One of my big goals this year is actually to finally get Hulk 181. I do not own a copy. I want a copy badly, and I'm selling a couple things to save up for that. I even have an Ultimate Fallout 4 and a 9.8 that I'm wanting to sell to get the Hulk 181. But this introduction of Wolverine's son Daken is pretty incredible, and he is absolutely ruthless over the next number of comics, and even becomes a member of the Dark Avengers as the Wolverine later, when that team is formed by Norman Osborn. And this is, of course, a Daniel Way story, Steve Dillon interior art, and a Casada cover.
Awesome.
Nice.
Beautiful. Awesome, man. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, this next book here, I had to show off. It's a perfect example of buy it when you see it the first time, not wait till later on. Because I was at Mile High Comics. I could have bought this book for anywhere from $20 to $50. I passed on at the time because 2 years ago, I'm in the mindset of more ASM. I got to complete my collection, and so I passed this book up. But I found today is on the list for this year.
Oh,
Nice.
Ultimate Fallout #4, second print. And the reason why I decided to get the second print was because this is the exact print that I did pass up about 2 years ago. And I decided that while the first print was nice, it was also more expensive, but I had to get the print that I didn't get the first time. So this is a great Bendis story. You know, he takes on the kangaroo, and very insensitive. He's wearing the Halloween costume, you know. All that. So it was just, people kept saying maybe it was in poor taste. So I really love this book an awful lot, and I'm glad to finally have it. You know, all that. Just, like I said, $20 to $50. I paid just over $100. I paid $115. So I actually got a very good deal as far as I'm concerned. So, but I'm very happy with this.
the one that didn't get away this time.
Well, it got away, but I tracked it down, beat it up, and dragged it home.
There you go.
and put a ring on it. So.
You're so romantic.
What can I say?
Joe, what do you got?
All right, so this literally, I kind of went over this the last time on your channel, but I showed a different cover for it. But Wolverine issue 66, the first appearance of Old Man Logan, but this is a second print variant, and it has to be one of the most visceral Marvel covers to date.
Yeah.
Written by Mark Miller, by Steve McNiven. This storyline is probably one of the best Marvel storylines to date, and I put that over top of every Venom. Yeah, like for real. Seeing like images like this
from Marvel.
This is when I was like, I'm done with comics. It's childish, just whatever. And then you walk past the shelf one day and you see something like this, and it's like, finally. So this thing's actually pretty hard to find too, man. But this is one of the Hulk's. This is one of the Hulk's sons. The Hulk is basically running everything. Yeah. But I love this cover. So this right here is what I think of when I think of like Wolverine.
So I don't know if this is intentional. Maybe it is, and maybe some people don't even see it. But if you look at Wolverine, the way how he's slashing the Hulk, right? It's exactly the same pose as in Hulk 181. No? Am I crazy about that? Show that one more time.
Pretty much like him diving forward with the one hand forward.
So is this what would have happened if Wolverine did slash Hulk that way in that pose in 181? Is that what they're trying to say?
Most definitely. But the Hulk, he'll just take it.
Yeah, I have to agree.
But look, I mean, there's literally intestines.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, Marvel.
If it's got blood and violence, it's definitely for me. I'm in.
Tag, I'm in. Please. We need a Venom series where they start cutting loose and all right, let's get violent. Let's do it.
Seriously, dude. Seriously, I can't wait for that, man. Like, can we stop what we're doing already?
The Dark Knight's version.
Yeah. I mean, come on. All right, Captain Kirk, your turn.
Sorry, my dog's freaking out a little bit, but
That's okay.
so the next book I wanted to show off. When your name is Kirk and your channel is Captain Kirk, you should probably own a Star Trek #1.
There it is. There it is.
So I
Nice.
have 3 of these, and they're all signed, which is pretty cool. I sent this off probably back in August. I used Alpha Omega certification out of Florida when George Takei and William Shatner were going to be at a con down there, and everything went great with that. It was the first time I used a facilitator, and I had them both sign this book. So I got it as an 8.0. And disappointingly enough, this is the only comic I've ever sent off to get graded after it had already been graded and pressed and everything. It was an 8.5 before, and it came back an 8.0. So, yeah, a little disappointing in that, but that was a few years ago. So, I mean, the price has kind of gone up on it since then, which is nice. But, so yeah, this is one I always wanted to have. You know, Shatner and Takei are old, so who knows how much they're going to be around. So I wanted to make sure I had their signature on this before they went on to the next life. So.
Awesome. I mean,
Cool.
it rarely happens, but I mean, it does unfortunately happen sometimes when you do lose a grade to getting a book signed, but not all the time. I think a lot of people have this thing like, oh man, you're going to lose a grade. Cause I can't tell you how many times I've sent books off to facilitators, even to the CGC private signings that they are hosting now. And people are like, are you crazy sending that in? You're going to lose a grade. You're going to lose a grade. I'm like, no, I mean, it really doesn't happen that often. But you know, knock on wood, somewhere I've been okay, and you know, haven't had any books degrade over the signature. But I mean, it does happen, but it doesn't happen often. And I think too many people in the community just like it happens all the time, but it doesn't.
Yeah. It's like trendy to be hating on CGC right now.
It was my biggest concern when sending my Superman 75 to be signed by Breeding. It was already signed by Jan Jurgens as a CGC 9.8, and I was afraid of losing that 9.8.
Yeah.
But I wanted both signatures on that cover, so it's just like.
Yeah. So like recently, last year, there's a book that I have. It's the Dark Knight Returns 3 Master Race one. It's the Jock UK previews variant. So it's just pretty much a cover swipe of the Dark Knight Returns book 2, but it's just his face. So I had bought one signed by Jock, and then someone sent me a raw one for an AOK, and I'm like, what do I do here? Because then they announced the Frank Miller private signing. I'm like, what do I do here? Like, do I send this signed Jock one to get the signature? Do I lose the 9A? Do I send in the raw one for Frank Miller? So I ended up just being crazy and sent in the raw one, and now I have 2 of those signed by 2 different artists in a 9.8. Luckily, the raw one still got a 9.8, which I'm not really shocked about. It was super, super clean. Like when I was buying it on eBay, I was like really scouring through photos. Like this thing's gotta be clean. And those comic books too, like the variant covers that DC puts out, like the super glossy covers. They're so easy to get fingerprints on. So I'm like handling this thing with gloves. So I'm getting fingerprints on it. I'm like, watch, I'm going to send this thing to CGC. They're going to grade it. And of course, I know they don't wear gloves. I'm like, this thing is going to come back with all sorts of fingerprints all over it. And actually, not one fingerprint was found on any of the books. I was shocked.
Nice.
All right, well, what do you got?
Well, since we're talking about grading and stuff, I guess I'll pull this guy off the wall. I wasn't going to pull it, but we'll do that. So this is my it's from the time I met Stan Lee. It's
Nice.
Amazing Spider-Man 75, 700. As you see, it's got it is 7.5, but there's a funny story behind this. So I met Stan Lee, got him to sign this. It was raw. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'd like to get this slabbed, but I didn't want to send it to CGC because, you know, unless they witness it, you're not getting any kind of verification. So I sent it to CBCS so they can do the autograph verification for me. I send it in. I wait like 10 months. I'm pretty sure they lost the book. I had to send them like 3 emails just to be like, any word on the book. I didn't even get any email saying we have your book. finally they're like, oh yeah, we found your book, we're processing it, you'll have it in like 2 weeks. I get it back in 2 weeks, pull it out, it's got a blue label, says unverified, and I was kind of heartbroken. I was like, oh man, I sent this in, I saw the signature, I was there, I talked to the man, it was like the best 190 seconds of my life ever. So anyway, I emailed them, I contacted them, I was like, hey, any way you can double check this? They send this off to Beckett, so it's a whole nother location. And the guy's like, you know what? You can send it in. We'll do it again, free of charge. We'll look at it. He goes, if it's not verified, though, you got to pay for shipping to send it back. I was like, okay, fair enough. Let's do it. I send it back. They have the book. It took about another 2 months to get it back.
Not bad.
Yeah, they mail it back. I opened the box and I see the yellow label, and I'm like, yeah. Now, originally it was dinged because the autograph was unverified, so it's just like writing on the cover. So they dinged it a few points, like maybe it's an 8 or 85. I didn't ask what the signature did, but anyway, they sent it back. They got it re-verified, but then they never regraded it. So it's got a verified signature now, which probably would up the grade of this book if I got it regraded. But this book was at CBCS for like a year and a half, and I'm like, you know what, this is good enough. I'm never selling it. It's in my collection. I have it back. I'm sure if I send it back, I can get an 8.5 or maybe a 9 on it. I don't know if it's worth it or not. But yeah, this is my 7.5 authenticated Stan Lee signature that actually is probably a better grade than a 7.5.
Sick. Dude, I remember you unboxing it the first time, and you were so heartbroken, dude. And I felt that watching. I was like, oh no, like the guy was there seeing it signed and it didn't come back, like verified. Like, oh no, dude.
And just for the the excitement of it, I didn't even bother to check if it was verified or not. I'm like, I didn't check the grade or anything. I'm gonna open it, show off this awesome grade and the signature, and I pull it out of the box. I'm like, blue label 7.5. Oh. Damn it. So, but yeah, I mean, it worked out as well as I needed it to work out. It's verified, so that's fine with me. If I ever want a higher grade, I'll just send it back for regrading. But I got the part I wanted. It's in the case. It's in the slab. It's hanging on the wall, and it says it's a Stan Lee signature. That's good enough for me.
Cool. Awesome. We had a couple of people jump in here while watching. We have Mike D in the house. What's up, all? Just saw a seller on Whatnot selling a print of the newsstand Amazing 300. Was like, laugh my ass off. No idea. The art chemist. Okay, when the goat passed away. No slabs for Mike D. Wow, you're a strong guy. All right, so my turn. What do you guys want to see more or less? I have a Marvel back issue box with me here. And then I also have my box of raw keys. I got the unread pile.
Raw keys,
baby. Raw keys.
Raw keys. Raw keys. Let's see what do we got. Ooh. All right, let's find out together. Oh,
there you go.
Oh yeah, that will do. That will do. So here we have a minty copy of Swamp Thing #1. One of my favorite characters from DC. Man, this literally this character, when I got into Swamp Thing, like this character really changed a lot of things for me with comic books. Like, no lie. Unruly Simeon knows how I feel about Swamp Thing. So Bernie Wrightson, Len Wein on these comic books. The first 10 issues are just absolutely remarkable. They're masterpieces. And then once you get to the Alan Moore run, this character just evolves like crazy, and he just gets cooler and cooler every issue. Love this story. Love this artwork. I mean, it's kind of a toss-up on which cover is better between 1 and issue 9. But like I said, it's kind of like a tie. But This book is on the rise lately, like super expensive. I got super lucky with this one, dude. This one I paid only $80 for, and like I said, it is super clean. So, but I think like 9.4s now are going for like, I don't know, $800, something crazy like that now. I mean, it is an older book, and it is a key issue with the number one. But I mean, I think it's crazy, but I think it's in some way it is kind of deserved. But I think Swamp Thing is one of the most slept on characters ever. Will, it was fantastic. The show was fantastic. I really wish they would bring the show back, or do something with the show, because I thought the show really did the comic book some justice. I mean, some of the shows, like episodes, were like ripped right out of the comic book. So, all right, guys, we're going to round 3 here. We have 20 minutes left here of the live stream. Again, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We have a huge giveaway coming up soon. Got lots of comic books to give away. We got Gator Guard comic book slabs to give away, and we also have an ASM 361 that I'm going to be giving away as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned here on the channel for giveaway details, and we'll be giving away those books pretty soon. Joe, you got a question or something?
Yeah, since we only got 20 minutes left, might I suggest that we show like 2 books each or something?
We can do that. I don't care. Dr. T, you cool with that? Just show something.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
Right. It's your turn, so you can show off 2 books.
Here, real quick. Here we go. We got a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe number 18. This is like supposedly like the first somewhat kind of appearance of She-Ra in comics like this. I just love that cover. I think it's quite badass. And so that's a She-Ra. I have the whole run of this. It didn't last very long, but I'm a big He-Man fan. I mean, you look over here, you got my Castle Grayskull chilling right there. Okay, as well as got the She-Ra Origins action figure. And then the next book, moving on quickly from that to piggyback onto what Joe had, here we have the sketch cover of the Wolverine, number 66. So we have the Miller story, right? And then the Turner and Steigerwalt, I think it's Steigerwalt cover. And so this is like the 1 in 200 of variant. I've had this for quite a while, but like what Joe said, right here is one of the greatest Wolverine story arcs, or story arcs in general in Marvel ever. I mean, it's so incredible what they do with Logan's story later on in his life. I almost don't want to tell any of you what happens, because you really should go out and either buy the trade paperback or try to buy mid-grade copies of the entire run, because it is absolutely fantastic.
It truly is. Dude, good stuff. That's the book I showed off the last time I was talking to Kevin. I need to get it graded so bad, and I hope it does come back in 9.8.
Yeah.
That thing is beautiful. That's a severely hard to find book too.
I probably had this book for 8 years. I fortunately bought it when it wasn't too much. I think I bought it for like $147.50 at the time, which I thought, this is expensive for this book. But now I'm glad I did, because it is quite expensive.
Yeah,
does anybody roughly know like what a full set of that storyline goes for right now?
I don't know.
If it's raw, I don't really know.
I have there's the first printing, then there's the second printing, then there's third printings, and then you got certain variant covers. I have the whole like spiel, and I'm kind of curious, what would that be valued at?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because like
I think there's a Dynamics Force exclusive that I don't have. Now I think about it.
Because like with everything. Go ahead, Austin.
Sorry. The first print, issue 66, typically goes for around $150 if you buy it graded at a 9.8. So, but I imagine, boy, all of them together, it's got to be at least $100, I would imagine. If they're like VF copies or something like that. But issue 72 with the Red Skull on the cover, that's actually quite hard to find, especially graded in high grade.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering, with everything with the comic market where it is today, and you don't see, honestly, I don't see these books anywhere for sale. Actually, I mean, so I'm just kind of wondering, like, I wonder what a full set of those would go for right now.
And I wonder if people are holding on to them. They're just waiting for Wolverine to drop, and so people just want to hold on to their Wolverine books.
Yeah, everyone's just gonna unload on Wolverine.
That's right.
Adamantium up the ass.
That's right.
All right, Matt, what do you got?
All right. Well, I happen to have two lovely ladies to choose from. Both were on my list for this year, and so I get to show off both now. So first is What If 105.
Nice.
You know, for anybody, if you're a Spider-Man marriage fan or Spider-Man as a dad, you know, you got to have this book and you got to have the series afterwards. So, love me, my Mayday. You know, my brother actually has a complete collection of Spider-Girl Volume 1, including this book in 7.5. I finally got mine. It's about an 8.0. So, I'm glad to have Spider-Girl.
That's probably one of the most pin-up-y Spider-Man covers you can get right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, I recently did, and you guys can see it on my Instagram, a small painting. You know, I like to paint in my downtime too if I can find inspiration. And this next one here is a book I basically wrote off to that I was going to get it, but I was going to get it in the second, third, or fourth print because I wasn't willing to pay the price for it that the first print would have been. But I found it up in Denver at Hall of Justice. They were on the stream sale that they were doing, and it was same price I would have paid for a second or third print. So I was very happy to get Thor #1.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
So, nice little copy here. So, and I don't quite understand why some people have a problem with, you know, a female Thor or a black Captain America. I mean, it's kind of like being dead in the comic books. They're going to come back, you know, regardless. So I love the worthiness of Jane here and the whole fighting cancer at the same time. So every time she transforms into Thor, she wipes out the drugs in her system, which is slowly killing her because of it. So I really interested in the story here. And so I found the What If where she became Thordius or Thordia or something like that in a yard sale for $1. But this one I got here on, like I said, from a store up in Denver, you know, across the state from me. So very happy to get these two lovely ladies, you know. So I feel they both should get movies, you know, or this getting movie, yes, but this one should get a movie too. So
I remember when,
Spider-Verse, man.
yeah, right. I remember when that Thor book came out on shelves. There was so many of them, and so many people were picking that up. And the first appearance of, well, not the first appearance, but the all new Wolverine #1 with, yeah, you know, she takes over as Wolverine, X-23, right?
mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you. Brain farts on live streams here. Yeah, I remember that too. I think that maybe came out the same week, if not, they were pretty close within each other.
Yeah.
Funny thing, right? Every time someone pulls out a comic book with you know showing off a lady, I just think back like I have no comic books with women other besides my She Venom with the first appearance of She Venom. I think that's the only comic book I have with a woman on the cover. And my House of Secrets 92, if that counts.
In distress.
I low key have a few female covers.
You gonna show
Not
one?
a lot. One of them, yeah. I'll show one.
All right, let's go.
All right. So I'm not going. Well, yeah, I guess I'll just show it. Black Cat #1 art germ variant.
Meow.
That glare is super bad, but this cover's just it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm a Black Cat fan, so
Yeah, I love this.
there's a virgin version of this. I think it's like a 1 in 100, something like that. I would love to get that in a 9.8. But if you see this thing in person, it's incredible. I see. I draw myself too. So the whole concept of somebody drawing a female and a dude being like, "Oh my god, it's so hot," like you're a freaking caveman. But this, it's like I can kind of see what you're talking about. Like this is just beautiful.
Yeah.
To see
Yeah.
person to really enjoy it. But
The glare is coming
kind
at the
of-
best part.
yeah, right. I'm telling you, my glare is on something today. But here's like a live comic pairing. I'm gonna like transition. So this is Aliens Fire and Stone #3. The cover art is done by Dave Palumbo. I absolutely love Aliens, and this one's really hard to see too. But god damn, this is another one of them covers. It's just the artwork is just beautiful. It's probably one of the best Alien covers I've ever seen. All black cover.
Kind of reminds
real
me
quick,
of that Audi Granada Venom cover.
A little bit. Real quick.
You gonna show 3 books?
Oh yeah, we're going for it.
Look at this guy.
The Mystique variant cover. The Mystique variant cover by Mike Del Mundo. This is just clever, and I really do like Mystique. I had to get this. I think it's a one.
Look at this guy. This guy. Hey, can we show off 2 books? Oh, look, it's 4 now.
You've been talking about women covers, bro. I got women covers for you. There you go. There it is. This is a book I feel like is about to pop off because of the show.
I mean,
I just randomly, I randomly got it for free. It's low grade, but it's beautiful.
I got mine for free with the trade.
There you go. It's just a cool cover to have.
Mike D, I missed my glow in the dark Venom cover, dude. You gotta get that one back. That's the Grail right there. That book is the Grail. You go underneath the covers. You remember that meme I made, Joe?
Yeah. Blanket, baby.
Mike D, I don't have my Spawn number 9 with me tonight. All right, Captain Kirk, what do you got, man?
Wait, how many am I allowed to show? I'm just kidding.
All of them. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So next up, I'm going to show my Amazing Adventures 11.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
This is first appearance of Furry Beast. This is from March of '72, and a couple of my friends that are on my channel, Dr. Burba and Drake, they got this for me for my birthday one year. A couple years ago. There's a comic store in Ohio that's pretty notorious for undergrading raw books, and they had it at a 7, and they picked it up. We sent it off, and obviously it came back a lot higher than 7. So we're pretty happy with that. So I want to show some Marvel love since I haven't yet, and everybody else has all these Marvel books. And then I want to show you guys. I have Spider-Man 101, and this is in honor of the Morbius movie coming out. So obviously, first appearance of Morbius. This is just from my dad's collection, so obviously a nice high grade 9.4, and I got the custom label, which is pretty cool too.
That's cool.
And I guess really quick, Batman 251. This is one of the first books I got signed by Neil Adams at Cincinnati Comic-Con a few years back. So yeah, there we go.
I got a question for you, Kirk.
Sure.
So, like you mentioned that your dad got you into comic books. You collect because it keeps that relationship with your dad alive with you. How many of the books do you have that are like your dad's? Like, is there a lot of them?
Yeah, he had 13,000. So
wow,
95% of my collection was from him. So most of the stuff you see on my channel where we unbox it, like if it's a high grade Silver Age, it was from his collection. So yeah, and he bought multiples of a lot of books. So I've been kind of adding to the collection just from, trading those or selling those and buying other books of, my own that I want. But yeah, most of the stuff from my collection is from him. So
that's amazing.
He collected starting about around 59, I believe, up until probably like the early 2000s, and the comics were just kind of sitting in like a chest at my grandma's house for years, and then I was like, well, maybe we should do something with these now, so keep them in good condition. So
wow, that's amazing, man. That's a great story.
Yeah, it's awesome that a lot of the books I have are really high grade, kept in really good shape, and it's a blessing to have, and just something that I always kind of hang on to. So but yeah,
cool, awesome. All right, Will, what do you got, man?
All right. Got some female covers. I pulled these real quick. We got this one.
Nice.
All right. All right. So I actually went to a comic show this morning before we did this show. I kind of needed a nap, but I found this Ultimate Fallout 3.
Oh,
nice.
Which in the back panel has the
it has a 4 on it.
But yeah, there's a little Miles preview in the back of that book. I think it's going for like $40-$50 now. And I got a little deal on my whole lot. I bought a bunch of books, but I paid around $10 for that. But this is the book I was excited to show you because this is Snowflame, the only cocaine-powered villain who was basically he died in this book, and then he came back in like Catwoman 24 or something recently. So Catwoman brought back Snowflame to the DC universe. But when I was going through my books of like, what do I want? I was like, I want to bring the, it's Saturday night. I got to bring the cocaine powered Saturday night show. But yeah, basically like his power is like this flame of cocaine, and at one point he says cocaine is my god, and he's just sniffing stuff, and he gets thrown into a shed of chemicals and just blows up, and it's a great it's a great way to get introduced to a DC book, New Guardians, because it's issue 2, and in issue 2 we already have cocaine powered superheroes, all supervillains, but we also have 2 heroes that were possibly infected with HIV or AIDS from a character called the Hemoglobin.
Yeah.
So there's
my God,
there's some crazy stuff going on. So if you haven't read the New Guardians yet, you might want to check it out because there's some wacky stuff going on in that book.
To be fair, I think to anybody who does cocaine might feel like they have superpowers after. So
everything he did in that book just you like hit him and he's like, oh, only get it stronger. And the more you hit me, I feel nothing. I'm numb.
I think I found I heard about Snowflame in like high school. I was like, wait, what?
And I think the crazy thing about this book, I found it in like $1 bin or something. But I think if you go on I checked it out on eBay or something. Like the last sale I saw, which was months ago, was like $20 or something. I was like, the guy wasn't one. It was probably prompted by him reappearing in Catwoman. But I was like, who pays? There's some crackhead at home. It's like, this is way too. I need to put him on the wall.
The person who came up with Snowflame was doing cocaine to come up with him.
I feel like I gotta buy that and then just randomly send it to the guy that I know that fucks with that stuff.
Oh, no.
Read this.
King of the Golden State knows his secret identity.
Mastodon Comics, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well, Don. Thank you so much for jumping in here. King of the Golden State, dude, we gotta get you on here, man. I think I messaged you once about coming on the show. Market research. Cocaine is one hell of a drug.
DC could have made a killing on this if they printed it with like cocaine in the ink or something.
That would be insane.
Why are you sniffing your book?
Comic addiction for real.
All right, what do you guys want to see? You want to see something from the back issue box? Again, the back issue box is Marvel.
Unread. Let's do the unread pile.
Unread pile.
Red.
Let's see. What do we got from the unread pile? Picking at random. So I won't know too much about these books because I haven't read them yet. So, I'm so excited right now. Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Nice.
That was random, dude. Street Sharks, man. Oh, dude, I'm so pumped right now. Okay, awesome story right here. There's 2 awesome stories to this book right here. So this is Street Sharks #1. All right, this is my childhood. This is like pretty much your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles knockoff. I was huge into Turtles, right? I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then when this show came out, I was like, this is pretty much Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but with freaking sharks, dude. I was super pumped. So this right here, this is not the original one that I had, but this is the very first comic book I had ever owned. I remember the day my dad buying me this comic book. I remember being like at such a young age, like I want to say I was like 5-6 years old, probably 5 years old. What year does this have a year on it? Maybe no. I want to say I was definitely 5 years old, and I just remember being at such a young age appreciating comic book artwork. I don't know what the work went into it, but that's what was fascinating to me about comic books. It's just the artwork. Like I knew somebody drew that, and I had so much appreciation for it. When my brother and I used to read, the Jim Lee X-Men books and Maximum Carnage, that was awesome for us. So again, first comic book I ever had. Okay, and I was super happy to have this. This was an AOK from my awesome friend Panda Awesome 316. Again, he AOK'd me this book. When I unboxed it, dude, I almost like shed a tear over this. Like I could not believe. I'm dead serious, dude. I could not believe seeing this comic book. Like when I unboxed it, I literally gasped. I was like, oh my God, like something in my soul just like shook because I saw this and I haven't seen it in years. So, dude, I'm dead serious, man. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I haven't seen this book in forever, man. This thing is super minty. Dude, I fucking love this book. Absolutely love this book. One more story from this book, right? I was such a huge fan about, the Street Sharks. And I love this cover so much that on my 6th birthday, my brother actually drew me the cover, and I still have it. I got way too excited over that one. I love it.
That's what it's all about.
All right,
That's what it's about.
Last book at random. I have read this one though. This is just another copy I've had. So here is a pretty minty copy of Daredevil number 181. Fantastic Frank Miller cover. This is, in my opinion, this is Frank Miller at his best with artwork. This is when I really liked and appreciated Frank Miller's artwork. Love his run on Daredevil. And this is also the death of Elektra, which is super brutal, dude. Gruesome. And that's what I love about my comic books. I love action, love fight scenes. Yeah, I like a good story, but violence, I'll be there. All right, guys. So that is past the hour. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and nerding out with us tonight. I want to thank my panel for coming and hanging out with me as well. Guys, don't forget to go in this video's description after the show and show these guys some love and support by subscribing to their channels, following them on Instagram. And if you haven't yet, please smash that like button here before you go. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And a huge giveaway is coming up very, very soon here on the channel. Like I said, we got a bunch of Batman comic books that were donated. We have 2 Gator Guard comic book cases to give away, a copy of ASM 361, the first appearance of Carnage, and a Walking Dead 9.8 slab. So, guys, wow. I'm Kevin Vidini for Superpower Review. I hope you guys have a super fantastic night. Peace.
Peace.